A wife goes to her husband's office to surprise him on his birthday. She hides while her husband leaves the meeting room with a female employee. The secretary says she will make an appointment next week with a client and the man agrees. Then he goes into his office and his secretary follows. The secretary says that it looks like the boss is a little tense and takes his shoulder. The man takes the employee's hand away and says he just slept rough. The woman tries to give him a massage to relax him, but he says he doesn't need one. Then the secretary sits down facing the boss and comments that today is his birthday. He confirms, and the secretary asks if he will do anything to celebrate. The man says no, because his wife is traveling and he will be working. The secretary finds it strange that his wife is traveling on his birthday. Then the secretary, taking the boss's hand, asks him if he wants to do something different since his wife is traveling. The man asks what the secretary means by that. And, trying to take his hand, the secretary says she can help him rest since he didn't sleep well. The man says no and that he is very busy. The secretary tells the boss to put work aside for a while and enjoy the moment since his wife is traveling. Meanwhile, the wife is watching from her husband's office door. The husband says he can't do this to his wife, so he sees that his wife is calling and answers. But the call drops. He finds this strange. The secretary keeps telling the boss to think it over and tells them to enjoy the moment. The man says no and that he is tired and has a lot of work to do. The secretary insists that the boss put the job aside for a while. She says that the work will still continue there when they return. She says he needs to rest. The man says no and asks the secretary to look at the message that just arrived on his cell phone. The secretary sees that it is a congratulatory message from his wife. But the woman says it's nothing important and that it's just a promotion email. The secretary insists again by touching her boss's hand. She says his wife will never know. She insists saying that he will like it and that she has a very special gift to give him. The man, running away from his secretary, says he is going out to call his wife. The wife hides again. The man says he is worried because his wife's call has dropped. He tells his secretary that he will be right back. Then the secretary decides to call her friend. The wife stands behind the door again listening to everything. She hears the secretary saying that her friend won't believe where she is. The secretary tells her friend that she is in her boss's office. She says that today is the boss's birthday and that his wife is traveling. She says that she will take advantage of the situation to seduce her boss until he sleeps with her. She says that her boss has a lot of money and that is why he will give her everything. And you say that your boss is very handsome. His wife, shocked, hears everything. The secretary goes on to say that now it will be the way she wants it and she will get everything she wants. Then she says she is going to hang up because her boss could be here any moment. The wife runs for cover. And the boss goes back to his office without having managed to talk to his wife. The secretary asks if everything went well and if the boss was able to reach his wife. The man says that his wife was not answering. The secretary says that she would never travel on her husband's birthday and on top of that she would never miss his calls. She tells her boss to think about this opportunity. The man says that on second thought, he thinks he will accept the secretary's proposal. The woman is happy so she calls him to take him out to dinner tonight. The man agrees and tells his secretary to wait just a minute. Then he picks up his cell phone and leaves the room again. The secretary celebrates that her plan is working. Minutes later, the man comes back into the room carrying a bowl. He says the two of them had better have dinner right there. The secretary says that's fine, and the man takes 2 glasses of milk with flour from the vessel. The secretary asks if they will eat that for dinner. The man says yes because when he married his wife, they went through many financial difficulties and sometimes the only thing they had to eat was milk and flour. Then the man takes pots of medicine from the jar and says that when he got sick his wife took care of him and never left him. The wife is moved as she listens to her husband. The man takes some coins from the jar and puts them in his secretary's hand. He says that his wife wanted to stay with him when he had just that little bit of money. He says that is why he loves his wife and will never leave her. He says that the secretary is bad character and knows that he is married but still doesn't respect his marriage. So he fires his secretary and says he doesn't want a person like that in his company. He says he loves his wife and would never do that to her. The secretary gets up and leaves. Then the wife enters the room and the man is startled. She says she went to surprise her husband but ended up being surprised. The man says he can explain everything to his wife. The wife says that her husband doesn't need to explain anything because she is very happy with what she saw.